Hello everyone, I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hi everyone!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Mark. Welcome or welcome back. And we're here with another Steve Will Try It. So we had gone a few different directions with Steve Will Try It over the years. Generally, the premise of the series was to look back at some made-for-TV products that I missed in my youth and wanted to try to relive now. Look, we all don't have a lot to hang on for, okay? So you just stop rolling your eyes. So what we received was a cookbook from a viewer. Now, we've tried appliances, we've tried techniques, we've tried one or two recipes, and we're going to try another. A viewer, Christine S., holla, it's Christine S. on YouTube. She has a channel of her own, and it's good. Shared with us this book called Sharing Our Best, the Ladies Auxiliary of Sherman Township Volunteer Fire Department in Gay, Michigan. Can't make this shit up. So if you've ever been part of a church or part of any small town, any slant of Christianity, certainly, you're going to find recipes that people have passed down generation to generation, whether it was for potlucks or whether it was for inviting dinner guests. People used to have dinner parties a little more. Now they come over for tapas and you drink red wine, but that was probably a little different back in their way. So I love these things. I went to St. Rose of Lima, was my parish when I still practiced, and they had one as well, and it looks about the same quality with the ring binder and everything. So looking to make something, so Steve will try the cookbook, we'll see. I was flashing back a little bit. I don't have a lot of baking experience personally. My dad can cook, but he doesn't bake, and my mom doesn't care to do either. So it goes. So Lazy Daisy cake. What's the gist? Well, it's supposed to be easy to put together, I guess. The recipe actually does not have a ton of leavening to it. It's beaten up eggs, whites and yolks, and then mixed together with some coconut and some vanilla and some other good stuff. And then there's some frosting at the end that we're going to pour over the top and make a broiled frosting. So this recipe I'm pulling straight out of the book for the cake. And then try the icing on it and we'll see where it goes. I'm optimistic. I'm also without a hat because it's got to be 90 degrees in here. But when you've got your mindset to just finishing something, you do. And it's a little hotter in the kitchen too, by the way. So please do come join me. We're going to go in the kitchen and we're going to make some Lazy Daisy cake. Well, hello, welcome to our kitchen. We are going to be making a Lazy Daisy cake. Of course, the inspiration came from Gay, Michigan, and the Women's Auxiliary Fire Department cookbook. Eva Halisto. I'm sure she's... Congratulations, thanks, we picked your recipe. She's older. So, we're going to make this a cake, egg-based, not a lot of leavening, and it has a really cool frosting that you throw on top and then broil afterwards when it's done. But we'll start with the basics of what goes into just the cake itself. Preheat your oven to 350 and find a 9x13. So what we have are 3 eggs split. So here's the egg whites. There's the egg yolks. Okay. We have a 1.5 cups of flour, a 1.5 cups of sugar, a teaspoon of baking powder, and a teaspoon of vanilla. Homemade if you got it. So first things first, we're going to need a mixer. If you're brave, get a whisk, but I'm going to use a mixer. And we are going to take the sugar. We're going to take our eggs, yolks separate, and take our sugar, which is a 1.5 cups, and divide it more or less evenly between the two of these. Now, 2 different things are going to happen. The one over here should get maybe a little bit fluffy and raise a little bit. And the one over here should come out ribbony, like, I don't know, how would you say, cake batter, kind of thin. It'll ribbon when you pull it up. But first things first. So then we have our whites. Kind of looks like fluff a little bit. It gives you a bit of poofiness. And now separately, we're going to do the yolks and their sugar. And actually, it should give us about the same texture. So we're going to go in and we'll see. Alrighty. Okay, so we're going to add... I know, it seems stupid. Why did you separate them and put them back together? There's bigger reasons than I understand. But I think it has to do with leavening, possibly. So, take the eggs, which are Smooth. Sugar and egg yolks. I mean, it's really for the win, I would say. Get it all out of the bowl. There we go. And now we're going to mix this together. I'm not going to use the mixer. I'm not going to ask you to be a pro and fold it, but stir gently till it all becomes like one color. And then we're going to go in with our dry. Okay, there we've got that going. Now we are going to add in our baking powder, half a teaspoon. And we have a cup and a half of plain old all-purpose flour. Put that in too. I'm going to put half of it in, mix it, and then put the other half in, just to be a little more easy breezy to keep some of the height with it. And we have our teaspoon of vanilla, rest of our flour. And then I'm going to send a certain cameraman out on an errand to find us a 9x13 pan. You can use glass, you can use metal. So we'll see what we got, and then we only got like one more step and it's going in the oven, so I'll catch you in a second. All right, now what we have here is 1 cup of milk heated up with 1 tablespoon of butter in it. You put it on the stove, bring it up to a boil. The boil matters, so make sure you get it there. Then we're going to add it into our mixture, and the recipe warns that it might seem like it's a little bit thin. So get like half of it in and then keep going. All right, we're all incorporated. It is a little thin, like they said. Now here's our 9x13, just a little bit of cooking spray for safety's sake. And we're going to pour right in. And another spoon. Ooh, give me this spatula. That's better. Thank you, anonymous cameraman. Okay, so we're in. It is thin. It's giving me pancake vibes. And this goes into a 350-degree preheated oven for 25 minutes to 35 minutes. Probably check it at 20 or 25. All right, we'll see you then. It's getting hot in here, and it's not just me. So there is going to be a broiled icing to the top of this cake. So broiled, what the hell? Come join. We're going to mix together just a handful of ingredients, and then they will be poured on top of the cake and let kind of soak in. So easy breezy. We have 9 tablespoons of butter. That's a stick plus a tablespoon melted. And we have 6 tablespoons? 6 tablespoons? 6 tablespoons of evaporated milk, 3/4 of a cup of brown sugar packed, and then a cup and a half of coconut. This I packed in there, but believe me, there's a cup and a half in the bottom of this. All right, and we're just going to mix this up, give it a little toss so it's all incorporated, and then when the cake's done, we'll show you the grand finale of it, of how it's all put together. All right, cake's done. It's been 23 minutes, I believe. And, ooh, that looks pretty good, I have to say. Now, broiled icing does mean broiled, so turn your broiler on to high while you're doing that. Let it warm up, and we'll come over here. This is the broiled topping that we have with the coconut and the brown sugar. All that good stuff. So we're going to go all around the surface and spread it out as best we can. It'll give a little bit because the cake is still kind of hot. So spread it out. All right, there's our frosting. Now we're going to go back in under the broiler. Preheat the broiler first or it'll just turn into like a yucky sugar mess. Make sure it's hot. And we're just going to leave it there. We'll check it like in a minute to see how it's coming together, if it gets crumbly, delicious, and all that good stuff. So we'll see you back on the couch with the final results of this, and I'll give it a ring. Okay?
Oh, Mark here, invading Steve Will Try It. Oh, the Lazy Daisy cake. Now, admittedly, I didn't grow up with this cake. In fact, I didn't even hear of this cake until, well, as a young adult, I started collecting vintage cookbooks and community cookbooks and, like church basement cookbooks. That's when I first heard of the cake. So where the heck did this cake come from anyway? Well, there's not really one person that we can point at and say, this person created this cake. It is suggested that the first printed version was seen in 1914, but It wasn't until the Snowdrift Shortening Company printed an ad for the recipe in a newspaper in the 1920s that it really took off. And the word lazy, well, that just refers to how easy it is to make this cake. Then the popularity, well, it lasted well through World War II. It was the 1930s that really got into this cake, much like the wacky cake of the 1940s. The Lazy Daisy cake was often used in cooking demonstrations because of the ease of preparation, and it was a really quick cake to make too as well. And then in the 50s, well, it saw even more popularity when the Quaker Oats Company came up with their own version of the Lazy Daisy cake using their product. Yep, they added oatmeal to the Lazy Daisy cake. Now, whichever recipe that you decide to use to make this cake, one thing is for sure, it is absolutely delicious. It's absolutely foolproof, and it's quick and easy to make. I mean, it's no wonder why folks of the past still have the recipe in their recipe boxes today. Like I do.
All right, you ready? There we go. So it almost looks like rice from this angle. That's all the coconut. And some parts were getting darker than others. Our oven isn't all it could be, especially I've never used the broiler to make anything, let alone broiled icing. But some parts got dark and started to smell like toasty marshmallows, and the other parts were just very lightly brown. So we can try it a few different ways, I guess, and see which one tastes best, and then adjust the time from there. This was the 23 minutes was what this came out to. So, if you're going to give it a whirl, keep your eye on the broiler. That's the part where things can go south fast. So, how many thumbs up do I give to this? Well, as a throwback to even publications like these, that gets you at least 3, okay? Because I love this kind of thing. There's tips, there's how to use tablespoon to teaspoon, the ratios, tips about how to cut your own veal at home, like all sorts of stuff. The recipe smells good, it was easy to do, and the book was a gift. So for that, we're going to give it 5 thumbs up. Toxic Avenger, 5 thumbs up. I'm content to try some other recipes in here. I know it's not everyone's style of cooking, church basement spaghetti type stuff, but some of it's really tasty, and it's a throwback. And I think looking at this, I'm thinking, this is years and years ago. All the folks who in here contributed stuff are like, gone and on to the next generation. And this is one of those ways that people can drag a previous generation into the current one and get a little literal taste of it. So thank you all for watching. Thank you all for joining. Please do subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll get alerts when we have new videos and go live. We're on Facebook, X, and Instagram. All our contact info is below. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch up with you tomorrow. We're going live at 6 p.m. Eastern to discuss Our Fair Lady, Miss Chantal Foodie Beauty Everyday Miriam, and see what she's claiming she's sick with this week. All right, thanks for watching. Bye. Say goodbye, Mark. Bye.